Hi, my dear Fundoo Class students. How are you? Welcome to the session. So, we are having a very special series where we are learning about tenses. And in today's class, we are going to talk about simple past. Before we begin with today's session, could I please request you to quickly use the share button and invite all your friends for the wonderful session? Let's get started. Hi to everybody who has just joined. Welcome to the session. My name is Juhi Narula. I have 12 years of experience in training students for various competitive exams. I also happen to be a life skills coach and a content creator. I've done my bachelor's in technology and master's in business administration. Hi to everybody. Let's get started. So, today we are talking about simple past tense. We have had four sessions where we have discussed about simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. Just to reiterate what we have done, I always believe that, whenever we are doing tenses, we should always discuss about the tenses that we have learned before. The idea is that then you can compare and contrast as far as the usage is concerned. So I'll quickly write the four tenses that we have already learned, and then we are going to elaborate more on past tense. So let's get started. Let me use my pointer. Here I have. So we have covered one category of present tense in that we had, so in present, we did talk about simple present. So when we talk about simple present, it is verb first form. And when do we use simple present? To talk about our day-to-day activities, for our regular habits, regular actions, and for universal truths. Like I'll say, man is a social animal, or sun rises from the east, right? Or I brush my teeth every day. I go to work every day. So these are few examples where we use simple present. Now let's talk about the second form, which is present continuous. So is, am, or are plus verb first form plus ing. And where do we use present continuous? We use present continuous when we talk about an activity that is happening at the time of speaking. I am teaching my students, right? So this is happening when I am speaking. So with I'm going to use am. So I'll say, I am teaching about tenses, right? So this would be am, verb first form is teach, and then I'm using ing. Now, if I give you the second example, I'll say you are learning about tenses. So with you or any plural subject, right? They or we or teachers, right? We are going to use our learn would be verb first form plus we are going to use ing, right? Action happening at the time of speaking. I hope we are clear with both the tenses. We have had elaborate discussions for the same. So now let's talk about the other two forms for present tense. We did talk about present perfect. So let me also tell you about present perfect. Okay, so when we talk about perfect, we usually say that the action has been completed, right? So present perfect would be has for singular, have for plural, plus verb third form. So I have completed my work. Okay, so the action has been done. Usually the action is completed in the recent past, right? Or she has completed her work. Okay, so this is how we use present perfect. Let's talk about the last in the category, present perfect continuous. So when we talk about present perfect continuous, we'll say has or have plus been plus verb first form plus ing. So action that started in the past and is still continuing, right? So I am teaching I have been teaching since morning. So I'm still teaching. I started in the past and the action is still continuing. Okay. So I hope we are clear with all the four forms of present tense. And let's get started for the topic for today, where we are talking about simple past. Welcome to the session again. Let's get started. So, when we talk about simple past, as past clearly reflects that something we are talking about that has happened or existed before, right? So, there's a very interesting situation given. Let's talk about this situation. Imagine someone asks what your brother Wolfgang did while he was in the town last weekend. So Wolfgang is a person, interesting name, right? So Wolfgang entered a hula hoop contest. So this is what he did in the last weekend when he was in the town. He won the silver medal, right? So we are talking about things that have happened or existed before, right? So I hope we are clear with the usage. So everybody, please note it down that when we talk about simple past, it is used to talk about things that happened or existed before, right? So I hope you're clear with the example. Quickly give me a thumbs up. I hope you're really enjoying learning tenses. Just keep the fear away and you will see that how quickly you are going to sink in the concept, right? Now, like I said, we are going to talk about past tense. That you are when we are going to use it, that you're talking about something that has already happened. So, while we do tenses, it's always a good suggestion that you do some note making, right? So this is important. That has already happened. So, like the same example, Wolfgang admired the way the light glinted off his silver medal. So admired and glinted, right? So the action has happened, right? So quickly note it down so that whenever you are revising, you know that what is the use of past tense. Everybody, I'll give you one quick minute and you can quickly write the use and then we'll progress. Great. So I hope you have noted down. Let's further proceed. Now you can also use simple past to talk about a past state of being, like the way somebody felt. I'll give you an example. Wolfgang was proud of his hula hoop victory. So this is what Wolfgang felt, right? So this is an emotion, right? So what sort of verb form we are going to use? Be form. So what is be form of verb? Is, am, are, was, were. We call them be form of verbs, right? So we are going to say Wolfgang was proud, right? So this is how a person felt about something. The contest was the highlight of his week. So are you able to understand how we are using be form of the verb? Just don't get worried that what is be form of the verb, right? So is, am, are, was, were, we say that these are, they've got just a special name, like you have got a special name, unique name. So we give be forms also, a recommendation, a realization, and we get to know that is, am, are, was, were, these are be form of verbs, right? So don't get worried whenever you encounter this term. So you can also write the second usage, the way someone felt about something, right? So quickly note it down. So we know two usages for past tense and we are clear here. So we can quickly write the usage and one or two examples so that whenever we revise, it's quick to connect. Whenever we do tenses, try to cover a lot of examples, right? A lot of exercises. Even if you feel that's very basic, what's in it, I can do it, still do it, because the more you're going to practice, the more comfortable you are going to be with the concept. Great. So let's further proceed. Now, how do you formulate the simple past? So, when we talk about regular verbs, it's a simple thing. Add ed in the last, and here you have the simple past in front of you. Like you will say, Plays the verb first form, and played, what are we going? We are simply adding ed. So she played the match last week, right? So this is how I can make a sentence. She played the match, so action that has happened, the match last week, right? And I typed her letter of recommendation. Okay. So letter of recommendation. I'm making some sentences so that you can realize that how the usage is done, right? So you listened to her presentation carefully last semester. Okay. She pushed her son to do better. I loved the flowers gifted by my friend. Right? So you can see that we are talking about the activities that have already happened. And how did we formulate simple past? Verb first form, we simply added ed for regular verbs. Okay, so what are we going to do when we talk about irregular verbs? We are just going to quickly discuss that. So when we talk about irregular verbs, so yes, irregular verb means things are getting difficult, slightly complicated, but when we learn and we know how to use irregular verbs, then what's there to worry, right? So there are irregular verbs that would look exactly the way verb first form looks like, or we also call it root form. So verb first form is also called root form, right? You can note it down, because anywhere if you encounter root form and you get slightly confused, then you'll be troubled. So note it down, verb first form is called root form of the verb, right? You can say root form of the verb. Little details, but you know what happens when we encounter these terms? We get slightly bamboozled, we get muddled, that what's happening, this is something that I've never heard before. And then that pressure really kills our interest in grammar. So that is the reason I'm telling you to note down these little things, so that you are fully equipped with the information, right? So as we are seeing, for irregular verbs, they remain exactly the same, like the root form or verb first form. Put, cut, set, cost, hit. So you can list down, right? So what happens whenever there are competitive exams or MCQs, they will definitely give you irregular verbs. Put and cut is something which everybody knows. You can list down set, cost, and hit, so that whenever a question is created, you are well equipped with the information. Please do that. You can give me a thumbs up once you are done penning it down, everybody. Great. So let's further proceed. Now, what are we going to talk about? Now, there are other irregular verbs also, again, very important. And the simple past forms are a bit more erratic. Like the previous set we saw, they were exactly the same as the root form, but here the variation occurs. I'm sure you must be aware. For see, the past form is saw. For build, it is built. For go, it is went. For do, it is did. For rise, it is rose. And for is, am, are, it becomes was and were. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Please make a sentence for the simple past using these verbs, so that you are able to retain better. Everybody start doing it. Then we'll make some sentences together and proceed further. I'll give you 2 minutes. So there are how many? There are, okay, with B form, you can just pick one. It's better if you do for all the three, but I'll give you a choice. Um, so you can make 6 or 7 sentences the way you want. Quickly get started. So let's see what are the sentences that we can make together. I saw a beautiful painting when I visited the art gallery yesterday. Okay, so this is how I am using so. You can have your own simple sentences. We have got some wonderful sentences coming our way. Then it took many years for Taj Mahal to be built. Okay, I went for shopping last weekend. Okay, and I did my homework yesterday. I rose on time for the last meeting. I was present for the party. Right, so these are few instances where we have used simple past for irregular verbs. The idea was that when you use the verb forms in sentences, you are able to retain better. So, like I'm sure I'm sounding repetitive, but it's very important that this point sticks to you that as many sentences you are going to make, as many sentences you are going to read, as many examples you are going to study, you are going to find yourself more comfortable when it comes to the understanding for the tenses, right? So let's further see that what do we do when there is singular subject or a plural subject? Is there a variation? No, there is not. So this is the good news. In simple present, we have seen there are variations. So like I'll give you one example. Um, I go to temple every day, or if I'll say they go to temple every day, but I'll say she goes to the temple every day. So you can see that there is a variation. But when it comes to simple past tense, so you don't need to agree the verb in number. The variation would be, the exception would be be form, where was is for singular and were is for plural, right? This is something if you don't know, you can please note it down. So Wolfgang polished his medal. The other winners polished their medal too. So can you see Wolfgang is a singular subject. So the verb is verb first form plus ed. And when we talk about winners, which is a plural subject, again the verb remains to be verb first form plus ed. So there is no variation except for be form of the verb that I have already explained. Like if I'll say she was present for the dinner, and you can say they were present for the dinner. However, you would want to use the subject. Singular was and plural were, right? So let's further proceed. Now, how to make a simple past negative. We are going to talk about it, but before that, let's take a tiny break. Quickly have a glass of water and join us back in a couple of minutes. Everybody, please take a quick break and join me back. People who are here, if you don't want to take a break, you can quickly revise the concepts. You can turn the pages and see what are the previous tenses that we have learned, what were the examples, or you can simply revise what we have learned so far. You can do some jumping jacks. You can close your eyes and relax, meditate. However you feel relaxed, you should definitely do that. So let's see, how do we make simple past negative? Most of the students have joined back. Welcome back, my dear students. Hope you are all charged up to retain the class. So let's see, how do we make simple past, negative, right? A negative sentence, how would the formation happen? And this remains same. The story remains same both for regular and irregular verbs. Again, be form verbs remain to be an exception. So you're going to use did not plus verb first form. It's as simple as you can think of it. Wolfgang did not brag. So verb first form and did not. And you can also write did and apostrophe s. So apostrophe has got two usages. So what is apostrophe? This is apostrophe, right? So one is contraction, like we are using in the case did not. So instead of did not, I'm writing like this. And another is possession, which is to show belongingness. So this would be Ram's car. So whose car are we talking about? Ram's car, right? And in case it's a plural term, not ending with S, so people's prime minister, right? Or if we are talking about a plural term which ends with S, like if I said teacher's room. So it's a plural term, teachers is a plural subject or a noun. We're just going to simply put an apostrophe after S. So this is how I have elaborated all the three usages. So we use apostrophe for possession and for contraction. Coming back to the concept, I just wanted to touch it because we did talk about did not, that you can use instead of did not write it entirely. You can simply write did and apostrophe T, right? So how are we making the sentence negative? You're using did not plus verb first form, right? And like I said, you can write did n apostrophe T, didn't, right? So I hope we are clear here. Let's further proceed. And if there is be form, you can simply do what? You can add not, right? It's very simple. If the subject is was, I mean, subject is singular, you're going to use was and then not. And when the subject is plural, you're going to use were and then you can place not. Simple, right? So third place winner was not as happy as Wolfgang. Wolfgang continues to talk to be the hero in the entire class, right? The fourth place winner wasn't happy, so you can simply see the onlookers were not ready. So you can see onlookers, the contestants weren't ready to leave either. So here we are using again apostrophe for contraction. Usage I've already explained. So it's simple, right? We have talked about be form of the verbs and we've talked about regular and irregular. I hope you're not going to forget, right? So if you have to ask a question, then what do we do? You simply do what? You add, you begin the sentence with did, add the subject and write the root form of the verb. Root form of the verb is verb first form. We have already talked about it. Let's see some examples. Did Wolfgang win? Where did Wolfgang go? Please don't make this mistake. It's a very commonly seen mistake. With did, you are going to, whenever we are framing the sentence, please use verb first form. It's a very commonly seen mistake, and this is the mistake that we are not going to make, right? Did the judges decide fairly in your opinion? So these are few examples which can help you understand how do we frame a question when we talk about simple past tense, right? So what do we do now? If it is be form of the verb, then the formula is again simple. You use was and you simply place the subject. Was Wolfgang in a good mood after the contest? Were people taking a lot of pictures? And were, was is for singular and were is for plural. So things are really easy, isn't it? Right? So it's time to do a quick drill. You are going to complete the sentences using the past tense. So quickly take a minute and do that. You have the root form in the bracket. So let's quickly see how do we get the correct answer. So everybody start doing it. Oh, we have other answers coming. That's very interesting, my dear students. That's very interesting. Very good, very good. Kudos. Very well done. Dan left very early today. Absolutely right. Sam and Sue bought a new house last month. I visited Germany the previous week. You played very well. They found this book on their trip to Italy. Wow. So here we have quickly finished 5 questions. Well done. A pat on your back. Let's see. Do we have some more questions? Oh, we have some more questions. Again, please try it. We are getting very quick answers, and that's very, very encouraging. Very good. Kudos. Oh, wow. We have few answers coming. So let's start the discussion. I baked this cake by myself. We opened the store in 1987. The rain finally stopped and we went home. She planned to come, but she had some problems. Kate had a big house, but she sold it. Okay, so I hope we are sorted with these questions. Everybody, quickly give me a thumbs up and let's further take the homework. So, this is your homework. You'll find the answers. So I hope you really enjoyed this session. Now you can search us on Facebook group at Fundoo Class. You get daily free live classes for kids. On Instagram, you can tag us at Fundoo Class Live, right? So please do follow us. You subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Fundoo Class. Follow and like us on Facebook page at Fundoo Class, right? Please help us spread the word. Tell your friends about the amazing sessions that we take. You can download our mobile app. The name of the app is Fundoo Class. You can easily get it on Play Store. If you're using iPhones, you can get it on App Store. So download it now, right? Also, please do share your videos of what you have learned with us and receive a participation certificate. Isn't it so exciting? And when you make videos, you become really confident. So it's not just about tenses, it's about getting better with your presentation skills, with your communication skills, with your confidence levels. So please do it right now. What are you waiting for, right? And I always believe that the more you're going to revise, the more you're going to learn, the better you'll become. So please make it a motto that always stay consistent in learning, revising, practice a lot of questions, learn a lot of examples, read a lot, make separate notebooks where there are important pointers so that you are all ready to get better as far as verbal is concerned, right? So, thank you so much for your amazing participation. Please take good care of yourself. Bye. God bless.